Time. Good morning, kids. And let's continue lesson number 6. We have started tissues, and in that we were continuing with animal tissues, and that too the connective tissue. 6.3.2 connective tissue. Under this heading, we have already covered about blood. And today we are going to deal with bones and cartilage. And next to that we are going to understand about the differences between ligament and tendon. Before that, there is this segregation of some chapters as per term 1 and term 2 as per the latest curriculum given by CBSE. It's available on its website also, and I have shared in your group. And that curriculum also associates some of the practicals. The videos of OLAB videos of those particular practicals I have posted in the group. Download them, keep them safe with you, go through those practicals, and after the completion of this chapter, I'll try to do those practicals in the class. As far as possible, I'll try to show how we are going to do those practicals. Talking about this connective tissue, today we'll be dealing with bones and cartilage. As we all know, let's refresh, because this we have taken up before this test exam. There is a gap. So let's again recall. Connective tissue is a tissue in which cells are placed far away from each other, and the gap between them is filled with matrix. Matrix may be fluid, it may be in liquid state, or it may be solid. If it is liquid, it takes up the shape of the blood, and that fluid connective tissue we have already covered. Now, if we are going to cover for that connective tissue which has the solid matrix, then the example of solid matrix is bones and cartilage. And in this case, the particular matrix that is present is actually present in the solid state. In case of bones, it is calcium phosphate, a cement-like substance that keeps the structure hard. And this particular one, bone only, we are going to write. Cartilage is a bit softer as compared to that of bone, and cartilage is not as hard or stiff as that of the bone. Its existence in the body is nose, ears, the upper part of the eyelid, and of course the trachea, end of the long bones. There the cartilage is present. Bit harder, but not as hard as bone. The cells of the cartilage, they are basically all the way same, arranged in the same manner as that of the bone, with a slight difference. And the difference is that we call the cells of the bone as osteocyte. Osteo goes for bones. Osteo means bones. And of course, the cells of the bone given the name as osteocytes. And if we compare that with that of the cells of cartilage, the cells of cartilage are known as chondrocytes. And in this case, remember that the cells are arranged in a circular manner, as we are referring to diagram number 6.10. 6.10 of our textbook, page number 75 it is. Here they have indicated for bone cells. They are arranged in such a way, if we try to view these cells, they appear as like we have some big cockroaches arranged in a circular manner. They have these extensions around them, and they are arranged in a circular. The single one, the single cell in the bone cell is actually the osteocyte. This is the osteocyte. And these are, of course, the extensions, as has already been labeled in the book also. Canaliculus contains slender processes of bone cells or osteocyte. So bone cell means osteocyte. And around it, of course, if the bone cracks, severe pain will be there. Unless there is sensation, you cannot feel the pain. So that means for sensation, nerves will be there. And those nerve cells, for example, if the bone cells are arranged in this way, then in between them there will be arrangement near to the bone itself, Haversian canal. Haversian canal. And this Haversian canal, this contains the blood vessels as well as the nerve vessels. That means the nerve fibers, you can say, there are two channels, one supplying blood, the other one supplying sensation or information. This will be present in the Haversian canal, and the cells are arranged in a circular manner. This is the structure of a typical bone. We compare with that of cartilage, and here they have given in our book the diagram of hyaline cartilage. And in hyaline cartilage also you can see the structure shown is such, and in this they have shown the diagram of the cells together, and these cells are given the name of chondrocyte. Chondrocyte. This chondrocyte is basically the cells of cartilage. And the matrix, because this cartilage is hyaline cartilage, once you are going to go for further studies in biology, you will realize there are more than one type of cartilage. This cartilage is present in maximum places, so in our book it's been labeled so. The name of the cartilage indicates the name of the matrix. So here, of course, the matrix that is present is also hyaline matrix. So this is basically a typical structure of bone. The bone cells named as osteocytes, and of course the cartilage will be having hyaline matrix. We have understood this, and now we are going to read and write a little bit about both of them, bone as well as cartilage. for bone, function and structure both we are going to write down. Structure, strong and non-flexible. Non-flexible. Bone cells, that is the osteocytes are embedded in hard matrix made up of calcium and phosphorus. That is basically it is this compound, calcium phosphate, Ca3PO4 whole twice. This is the matrix actually. And its function now. Function. It forms the framework. First function forms the framework for the body. And the second one the second function, it anchors muscles and supports muscles and supports the main organs. So this is for the bone we need to know. If you have noted by now, it's good. If not, then please take a screenshot. And now we are going to write for the differences between bones and cartilage.
Ma'am, wait, I can take this screenshot.
You type out your message. I could not hear you clearly. Anamika. Yeah, okay, I'm waiting for 2 more minutes. And I'm saying that you can take up a screenshot. And that's what I'm saying, that we have covered for blood. And today we'll be covering for bones. And of course, the difference between tendons and ligaments. And we are going to again recall for, once we are saying it is a ligament, then of course this makes the shape of L. L stands for ligament, and from one bone to the other bone it connects. That's what a ligament is all about. It connects one bone to the other bone. Now if it is connecting one bone to the other bone, it is supposed to be flexible. Very fairly, it is going to allow the movement of the bones, one bone to the other bone. That means the first function of ligament will be that it will join bone to bone. The second, it is supposed to be flexible. Opposite to that is actually tendon. Tendon is This you can say that both of them are basically thread-like structures, and here that thread-like structure is actually binding bones to the muscles. It is tying up muscles on the bone. Now, if it is tying the muscles on the bone, it is not supposed to be flexible at all. If it is flexible, the muscles will slip away from the bones. So the first thing first, this tendon ties the muscles to the bones and it is not flexible. This is a 2-mark question and has been asked repeatedly in the exam, and students have committed repeatedly the same mistake. Out of 40 candidates, say for example, if they are writing the exam, minimum 10 kids, they go vice versa. They write the differences, but they write the differences of tendons in ligaments and ligament difference in tendons. Whenever you have any confusion, there is no harm in holding your arm this way. Yeah, that was L. L means ligament, joining one bone to the other. Confusion clear. Then automatically you will not go wrong in your exams. Now let's write for tendon and ligament. Ligament. First point. It connects two bones. It connects two bones. Second, it is very elastic. Second is tendon. Connects muscles to bones. It connects muscles to bones. Second, it is a fibrous tissue with great strength, but limited flexibility. Definitely it is strong, then only it is holding the muscles to the skeleton all over the body. But it is not flexible as that of ligament. These two important differences are going to fetch you 2 marks in your exam. Complete that and we'll move ahead writing about cartilage. If you have noted it down, well and good. If not, take a screenshot and now we'll write for third type, that is C type.
Noted, ma'am.
Bones, we have covered, that was the B part. A we have covered for blood. B was for bone. Now C for cartilage, we are going to take up the third part. As we all know that bones and cartilage, they have this solid matrix. But the major difference between the matrix in both the cases, in case of bones, the matrix is calcium phosphate, and in case of cartilage, the matrix is made up of proteins and sugars. Therefore, it is flexible. For example, if I hold this ear pinna and twist it this way, I can move it. It's not as smoothly functioning as that of the skin or other muscles, but it is not as hard as that of bone. Remember that. So let's write for cartilage. Another 2-mark important question. I hope the students have written. And let's move ahead writing for cartilage. Out of these, definitely some question comes. Connective tissue is an important entity in the chapter. Now the C part goes for cartilage. Again, the same way, the question will be asked for its structure, its location. So the structure, first of all. It has widely spaced cells. It has widely spaced cells. As any connective tissue, it also has widely spaced cells, and the solid matrix is composed of sugars and proteins. That is its structure. And the location now. Bone surfaces at joints. Bone surfaces at joints that actually ensures the smooth movement of the bones around joints. In the nose, ear, trachea, and larynx, voice box. So this is its location. Once we are done with this, we are going to take up the next important connective tissue, and that is areolar connective tissue. If you have completed this, do let me know.
Done, ma'am.
Yes. So basically 2 more we are left with, areolar and adipose. Adipose, as the word itself indicates, once we have a look at the diagram clearly says fat droplets. Adipocyte is what they have labeled for fat cells. Adipocytes are fat cells in which the fats will be stored. So that is the function of adipose tissue. It acts like an insulator. below the skin, around the organs, the fat cells are present, and there we can say that the adipose tissue is present. What about areolar tissue? Areolar tissue is actually, you can call it as a filler tissue. It fills the space. Okay, so whatever space is left, that has been filled by areolar connective tissue. That is the D part we are going to write for areolar now. And we'll wind up this connective tissue today so that tomorrow we may begin with next tissue, that is the muscular tissue. D part. Areolar connective tissue. And for this also we are going to write its location and function. Location between skin and muscles, between skin and muscles, around the blood vessels and nerves, around the blood vessels and nerves, and of course in the bone marrow. And in the bone marrow. Bone marrow is present in the, it is located centrally inside the bones. Now function. Function. It fills the space inside the organs. Fills the space inside the organs and supports internal organs, supports internal organs as they are very soft and delicate, and of course helps in repair of tissues. Helps in repair of tissues. Note it fast, beta. We are left only with the last type of tissue in this category, and that is about the adipose tissue. For that also we'll write down the location and its function. Yeah, I'm getting the messages from some of our kids that they have noted. Better everybody should write it fast so that we may deal with the last topic. And if you have not noted anybody, please make sure that you are taking a screenshot. Vikas has written. Vikas. Okay, Sarah has answered. I think Vikas is still writing. Well, anyways, please try to take up a screenshot and let's write down the last part of it, that is about adipose tissue. Adipose connective tissue or the fat cells, you can say. Whatever fat we have in our body, it's basically this tissue. So of course, the first thing first is its location. Below the skin, between internal organs. Below the skin and between internal organs and its function now. Function. The cells are filled with fat globules. Cells are filled with fat globules. Storage of fats. Storage of fats lets it act as an insulator. Insulator. That means in a way, it is going to protect us against the changes, temperature changes going on around in the environment. And my request to all the students is that please go through the split up of syllabus that has been posted, and science as a whole, whatever chapters you have. I'm dealing with bio, then of course this is the last topics going on. And after this, we are going to go for revision. After this chapter ends up, we are going to deal with the practicals in the class, and then we'll go for the revision. Same way, there are chapters for chemistry as well as for physics also. Please go through the split up of syllabus that has been put up in the group and view the practicals very carefully, so that once I perform the same activity in the classroom, you can ask your doubts regarding that. With this, I come to the end of today's lecture. I hope you would have written this. Take care, students. All the best. Happy learning.